What's up? What's up? It's your man Chazz Ellis once again answering the questions that you ask me. Once again, I'm answering a question from the ChazzEllisProject.com. You pick the next video. So if you want to pick the next video, go to the ChazzEllisProject.com. Also, if you want to get a consultation or you want to ask a quick question and get the email address for that, go to the ChazzEllisProject.com. Also, be ready. Make sure you sign up because my online dating class is coming out October 26th, Sunday the 5th. Sunday the 5th, October 26th. So make sure you sign up for that too. Anyway, the question that I got was basically a young lady was saying that she wants to get married. She wants to be in a position to get married. But at this time in her life, what she's been dealing with is all the people that she really, really likes and really wants to be with haven't really worked out. She said there's some situations with jealousy, where she's been a little bit jealous at times. She says, these people that she's really attracted to and really wants to be with, it just never really seems to work the way she has it planned. And she says, as far as the people that she doesn't really want to be with may not be all that attracted to, they always line up and they want to marry her. They want to give her everything she wants. A lot of people are familiar with that. Men and women are familiar with this situation. Basically, what often happens in life is the people we want the most don't seem to really work for us. And the people we want the least seem to be there with open arms. But for some reason, that doesn't even work out. And I'm gonna kind of tell you why. When you start out a relationship, in the beginning, when you first meet somebody, it's all about who they are. It's all about that. It's all about how they look. It's all about how smart they are, how funny they are, what kind of job they got, their positive attitude, how other people respond to them, your family liking them. It's all about who they are. But unfortunately, fortunately, whatever, as a relationship progresses, it becomes about what and who they are to you. That means how they treat you, how they talk to you, how they act, the time they spend with you, the amount of attention they pay to you, all of those things. This is what it becomes about as the relationship progresses. Now, unfortunately, when we like somebody in the beginning, like I said, for who they are, often the people that we really like who they are don't really treat us the best. A lot of times they don't necessarily value us at the same level that we value them. Because you got to remember, that's kind of how it works. You might be in the stage where it's all about who they are. And maybe they don't like who you are that much. Maybe you're not what they wanted in terms of looks. Maybe you're not what they wanted in terms of your financial status or your personality or your past or whatever the heck the case may be. And if you're not what somebody wants or if you're not who they want you to be, then who you are to them, doesn't matter so much. Especially in the beginning, it really doesn't matter so much. So that's why a lot of times you may find yourself bending over backwards for the people who are everything you want, and it just doesn't seem to work out. You're like, man, I've done everything. I've done all I could. And for whatever reason, this person doesn't seem to appreciate it. While you can go and give the person that you don't really like that much, you give them nothing and make no commitment, and they won't go anywhere. They'll just keep chasing you around on their knees, just please, 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 please. I love you so much. Don't go, baby. That's kind of the experience you get from that person, and you're like, it doesn't matter how you treat me. I'm just not really interested in who you are. So who you are to me really hasn't become a factor yet. That's where the issue really comes into place, because it puts us between a rock and a hard place. Because often, say we do decide to settle for somebody, and we're like, you know what? you're not necessarily who I want you to be, but I do like who you are to me and how you treat me. So then you settle for this person, and unfortunately, y'all start getting into it all the time because they start having more and more of a demand because now they've gotten past who you are, and now they care about who you are to them. And clearly, because you don't value them at a high level, you're not going to actually be exactly who they want you to be to them. You know, you're not going to take time off of work to spend with them. You're not going to you're not going to try to buy them a present or something like that when you don't really have much money. You're not really going to cook them dinner or whatever. I don't know. You're not going to do a lot of the things that you really want to do, that you would do for someone else, that you've probably done for somebody who you really wanted to be with. And then they start becoming demanding, and that makes that relationship even more difficult because they're starting to say, okay, spend this time with me, do this, do that for me. And you're like, hold up, hold up, hold up. The only reason why I was messing with you is because I liked who you were to me. I liked the fact that I could come around here anytime I felt like it, and that was cool. I liked the fact that you always got me a present and I didn't have to buy you nothing. I liked that. Okay? I like the fact that I could be cool with you as much as I wanted to be, but you didn't consume my entire life. Now, you're sitting over here trying to be like the person. I'm having to put forth the same effort as I would with somebody I don't necessarily, that I really, really want to be with. And I don't even want to be with you like that. So the effort becomes more difficult, and then that becomes a strain on the relationship because you don't really like who they are, and they don't really like who you are to them. That's kind of the same situation as when the other person really didn't like who you were, and you didn't really like who they were to you. So that's a problem you run into. The people you really want are often people who you like who they are, but you don't really like who they are to you. And the people that you don't really want, it kind of works out to where you like who they are to you, but you don't really like who they are. And they don't really like who you are to them. So it's kind of always this is why relationships can be so freaking difficult. Because it's very, very difficult to find somebody where y'all both operating on the same plane. Hardly ever happens to where you actually find somebody who you like who they like who they are to you. And then you have to understand the fact that there's also an ebb and flow in life where who we are changes as time goes on, and it goes up and down. And in a relationship, it becomes difficult because often we stop liking who that person is. Maybe they change physically, and we're like, oh man, you used to be really super fine, and now you kind of then fell off. So now we don't like so much who they are, and that affects how we feel about who they are to us. So this is one of the biggest issues when it comes to relationships is that ebb and flow, and the changes that constantly happen in relationships. And, you might go downhill a little bit and they might not like who you are at that time. And who you are to them doesn't really matter. And sometimes who you are to the person changes. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, unfortunately, there's so many changes that take place in a relationship that it's extremely hard to find that balance and then ride it out through the inequities. That's difficult. When you find the balance, like say y'all both like each other about the same amount, you're like, I like who you are, I like who you are, I like who you are to me, I like who you are to me. You have to understand that that's not going to last every day of the week. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to be that way every day of the week for the rest of your life. So you have to be able to balance that, and you have to be able to accept the fact that there's going to be some changes here and there. So as far as finding the person that you want to be with, you got to understand that if you want to be with somebody who you really like who they are, and they don't so much like who you are, that's going to be patience. That's going to be a lot of work that you're going to have to put into it. You're going to take some crap you probably don't really feel like taking. I'm just being real with you. You're probably going to take some crap that you don't feel like taking. You're going to have to outlast some other people. There's going to be some stuff you got to put up with and you're going to have to do to get somebody who is maybe your first choice, and they don't really value you at the same level. Because sometimes Unfortunately, sometimes the people that we like the most, everybody who's like that doesn't really value us. It happens. I'm just being real with you. I know that might offend some people. But sometimes the people that you like don't really value you. And, you know, that's just the way it is. Sometimes they don't value us. Sometimes it's just how it works. We may like a certain type of person, and just in general, every person like that pretty much treats us the exact same. So that's telling us right there that they don't really like you like that. You know what I mean? Like that type of person isn't really feeling your type of person. So that means that you're going to have to put in a lot of work to find someone like that, that'll date you, and that you can fall in love with and really have a real serious future with. You're going to have to put a lot of work in. You're going to have to put up with some crap. You're going to have to outlast some people. You're going to have to really build value in who you are to them. You're going to have to show a strong value in that, and you're never going to be able to really expect 100% equity in your relationship. I mean, that's not going to happen, most likely. It's probably never going to be a day when y'all both do the exact same thing. You know, when they take off work at their job to come spend time with you, they're probably not going to do that. You know, and that's the relationship you want to be in. You gotta, if you really just want to be with somebody that you really, really like who they are and that's really valuable to you, then that's a sacrifice you just have to make. If the people that you find really valuable don't really find you that valuable, that's a sacrifice you just have to make. And I know people say, "Why I ain't settling? I'm not accepting the fact that this." I mean, I get it, but you know, I guess being by yourself is always an option. You know, unfortunately, but like I said, you're going to have to make that change, or you're going to have to find somebody who's closer to who values you. And I guess there's another option to that too. There's another option to that. If you're dealing with somebody who doesn't really value you at a high level, and you know that that's what happens every time you get with somebody like that, that's what happens. You're going to have to pull your level up. That's something that you're going to have to do. Like, if it's a physical thing, for instance, like say you know for a fact that when you're trying to talk to people like this, like for instance, say you like dudes with six packs, and you like dudes to be in the gym all the time. Just, that's chin-ups. Say you like somebody like that, right? They like to do pull-ups all the time. And that's just in good shape and everything like that. And say you know, pretty freaking chubby. You know, you kind of big. And you don't see that they value you at this high level. And you're pretty sure that that's what it is. Like, you're like, you know what? I'm 5'2", and I'm weighing 450 pounds. I'm pretty sure that this is part of it. You're going to have to pull your level up by losing some weight. If you want that, if you want to be able to be in a situation where they're treating you as an equal, you're going to have to pull your level up by losing that weight. You know, otherwise you're going to keep dealing with the same thing, and you have to adjust. And as a guy, you know, a lot of times it could be that. But as a guy, you know, sometimes you might be like, I want to deal with a girl, I want to deal with these dimes, and she got to look this way and look that way. But you mop floors at Burger King. Probably not going to get the responses that you're looking for. She might date you, but she might be looking kind of like, hey, you know, I'm dating a dude at Burger King. I don't know if I really want to. She might not be, you know, she might not value you at the same level, you know, but so that means you're going to have to pull up your situation. You're going to have to get a better job. You're going to make more money, you know, do better. That's the way it works, you know, and you might need to do some sit-ups too. I mean, whatever the case may be. Unfortunately, that's just how life is. You're picking people for reasons that are usually fairly superficial. You know, don't get me wrong. It's probably a lot of, you know, I like their personality and stuff like that. Some of those things involved too. But usually you're picking people for qualities that you may not have yourself. You know, a lot of times we pick people with qualities that we don't even have. And when you pick people with qualities that you don't even have, because you feel like they're really good and those qualities are really good, well, you got to think, they probably want people with those qualities also. And when you don't have those qualities, you're going to have to either get those qualities or you're going to have to make up for them in some way. And that making up for it might mean you take a little extra crap. Just the way it works. So, you know, that's the problem that happens. That's why it's so hard to date somebody who's your first top-notch choice, somebody you really want, and it's hard to date somebody you don't really want. Because, you know, you're either on one side of the equation most of the time. You're either the person that's treating somebody who you feel is not really up to par with you like crap, or you're the type of person that's, you know, getting treated like crap by somebody who doesn't feel that you're really up to par with what they want. And unfortunately, I know that probably sounds kind of harsh, but that's just kind of the way it is. You know, and if you're in a situation where you guys do meet in the middle and you do feel about the same about each other, that's a blessing, man. That doesn't happen very often. And you have to understand that that's going to change from time to time, and you got to kind of ride that out, you know, and just work on you and having them work on them. Hopefully I was able to help you out. Once again, it's your man, Chazz Ellis. Make sure you hit me up on the ChazzEllisProject.com. Also hit me up on As Chazz Ellis on Facebook and Twitter. And make sure you do sign up for that class, because what I'm going to be doing is telling you about it. Go to Eventbrite.com. It'll be an annotation somewhere. But make sure you go to the class, because I'm going to be teaching you about texting, you know, what to say during a text message so you can meet a person, what to put on your profile so you can meet people and be able to meet up with them, be able to have a real relationship, things of that nature. You know, some of the stuff y'all ask me about, what pictures to put up, what to have on your Facebook, so that people don't look at you and think you're crazy or undateable for whatever reason. You know, stuff like that. Once again, it's your man, Chazz Ellis. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with somebody else. Peace.